Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. I'm always right. I'm always right. Since the 80s and wasn't always cool, especially with the ladies. I was a damn fool. Dad was an alcoholic. Mama, she had to leave him. Grew up around the fighting, the fussing, cussing, and cheating. That's when I started breaking all of the rules. Selling drugs and robbing people. I was kicked out of school. I was a bad kid, tearing shit up. Sleeping on couches with 40 bottles and cigarette butts. Years go by and I got sick. Stage 4 lymphoma, how'd I get this shit? Lucky to be alive, so I changed my ways. I'm on that good life tip today. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go there with me, girl. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Baby, we can have it all. We can make love by the waterfalls. I'm living that good life after all.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Bleaves. Welcome to Breakfast with Bleaves, Halloween edition, where blood is flowing in the market, but it's not really. Where zombies are eating people. They're not really. I mean, you know, maybe. Who knows? Really? I mean, maybe. Grey Worm from Game of Thrones is now a vampire. He's playing Louis on Interview with a Vampire. So anything is possible. So, you know, you never know how things are going to play out. So, good morning to everybody. Maddie B in the house. What's going on? Diggy in the house. Family Z. Tell Tracy we said hi. RW, what is going on? Good morning, Jeff. Mr. P in the house. What is going on? I'm doing good. How about you? New song. It's actually one of my older songs, but we're just bringing it back out for a little while to kind of putting it in the rotation, so to speak. Good morning, Greg. And yeah, so let's take a look at the market because we're going to talk about Luna Classic in a second. Spoiler alert, if you're a Moon boy, you're not going to like it. But we're going to talk about it because, you know, it's my show. I get to do what I want to do, right? Anyway, good morning, Paul, JC, Vader Prime, Daniel in the house. What's going on? And Cody Core, what is happening, my man? So first, let's look here, and we can see that we've not had a confirmed breakout yet. This right here was close enough to maybe kind of say that we were getting that confirmed breakout, but as soon as we got there, 2 o'clock at night, and it just started to come back down. So it's not 4-hour candles, but it was a couple of 1-hour candles. On the 4-hour, you see here, like we're just kind of trending on that line. If we're having a breakout, it's almost by default at this point. But if this one confirms and then we get another one coming over, hopefully to the upside, then maybe we're going to start moving towards the upside. Now, the thing about moving to the upside on this is this. You can see here that the total market continues to move to the upside. Bitcoin continuing to pump. Ethereum continuing to pump. Now, they're having a problem, as you can see right here. Remember, we put these lines together, kind of said, you know, this is where we need to break out. We need to bust up here. We need to use it as support. We haven't done that yet, but I think that's coming, and I think that we're going to see it happen very soon because of what we're seeing here in the market. And we're seeing the market just kind of push. And even when you have like these moments right here where you just have that downward sort of momentum, it doesn't last. It doesn't sustain. Like it seems like the market is trying everything to get its pump on. Now, that being said, the earnings whisperer shows a bunch of things this morning. So and when we look at the pre-market, and we're going to look at Polly Cole, by the way, because Polly Cole, she put together just an awesome bust that she created for Swing DAO and BTFA, and you're going to remember it when you see it, and it's incredible. But anyway, Albertsons Food Companies, they beat their estimates. Home Bancorp reports earnings of $1.28 on 37 million. And Home Bancorp is not gigantic, so it's not huge. Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, Hunter. State Street misses. You can see here revenue of $3 billion. The goal was $3 billion. The earnings per share was $1.82. The estimate was $1.79. Now you see where this says misses. The earnings whisperer had a consensus over what they actually reported, so they called it a miss. But that's a hit for the entire market. Earnings whisperer, the only people that missed that call, if that makes sense. So then Lockheed Martin beats, and of course, I mean, anytime you're blowing the world up, you're gonna win, right? So they hit 687 out of 16 billion in revenue. They were anticipating just a little bit less revenue, but the shares were 660, so they beat. Goldman Sachs, of course, Goldman Gary, especially when Goldman Gary's in the house, and you got to look at this. This is unbelievable. 8.25 per share on revenue of 18.5 billion. The estimate was 747 a share on revenue of 11.4 billion. Just think about that for a second. That's how much Goldman Sachs is dunking on people. So Cambridge, you're looking at 209. It ended up on 206 was the estimate, so it beat. Hasbro missed at $1.42. But again, here we go. It did $1.42. Consensus was $1.53 per share. Revenue was the same. The earnings whisperer number was $1.67. So earnings whisperer was way higher. It did miss, and this is where you start to consider, at least this is the bad effect of what we're experiencing right now, and that is Hasbro is gaming and toys and stuff like that. A lot of their revenue comes from that, and people are not buying that as much, and that's affecting their bottom line. Johnson & Johnson products, they hit 255 a share and 23.8 billion, but the consensus was 249 and 23.5. So they hit both of them. However, the earnings whisperer said 261 per share. So they give it a miss, but let's face it, for the purpose of the stock market, they hit. Silvergate, not very hot, not very big. Commerce Bank share, 402 million. So it went 102 on an estimate of 104. So it missed. Then we have Truist Financial, which missed, but it just barely missed. Mercantile Report was 101 a share on 97. So as you go down this list, you're going to find that banks are doing really good. And that led to this. The pre-market for the Dow futures is now over 600 for this pre-market, and the market's going to open in about 20 minutes. We are looking at an incredible and massive sort of rally. When you look at the fear and greed index, we're still in fear mode, and this is the stock market. This is not, this is not the pump kind of level that we're in, right? We're still in a fearful stock market. Extreme fear a week ago was 18. Yesterday closed at 28. Now we're at 32, which means that we're coming out of it. And then we were at fear 35 a month ago. And 1 year ago, we were neutral at 46. Now, neutral at 46 during this period of time, we were actually pumping to all-time highs. So, you got to put these things into perspective, if you will. And now let us go check out Miss Polly Cole. And she has created an actual bust of the original OG, if you remember the very first BTFA swing Dow picture or image. She's turned into a 3D. If you remember, it says, "I am not a walking degen," or "I am not a degen" on it. And I think Rodney was using it as his profile pic for a while. Sway used it as his profile pic for a while. And so Polly Cole is an artist who does bust like this. She's done plenty before. You can see over here, she did one for the Board Ape Yacht Club. And then as you scroll down here, you can see there are different, this one over here, which is doodles. She did one of the doodles. And what is this one? This is Martian toys. So pretty interesting designs. Like, she finds stuff that she likes. Cool cats over here. And then she makes the 3Ds of it. And so, yeah, it was really cool to see that she got involved on this. So if you haven't already, give her a follow. That is, I guess I should do that too. At Polly_KOLE. She's making, I don't know how much they cost, by the way. So if you're looking to get one of your NFTs done, I mean, just reach out to her and find out how much it'll cost. Here's her link tree right here. So you can see this is a list of her physical artworks. In a pink sky, moving slowly. Oh, there's an explore button. Son of a bitch. All right, so we've got sculptures. There we go. So there's sculptures, there's paintings, and actually this is pretty cool. All right. All right, so what they've done is they've scanned in some of her, I guess they've scanned in some of her artwork into Iron Man, Medusa, Crystal Trooper, Crystal Vader, Batman, Rockstar, Fitness Unicorn, Crystal Blackheart, Nikki Unicorn. All right, so go check her out. See if you can't come up with a reason to have her do some work for you. Yeah, and there we go. All right, so what do we expect to happen in the market over the next little while? Well, I do expect that we're going to have some upward momentum on everything, and that's going to include Luna Classic. I think that we're going to have some upward momentum because we've consolidated for an extended period of time, and we've minted lower highs, and we've kind of been right on this trend line with the lows, and that's coming from this bottom move. Coming from this bottom move means that there's an 80% chance that we're going to have a breakout. Now, breakout, I don't know how long or how far we could really run, because as we continue to consolidate in this area, then of course that becomes this becomes a place that we're comfortable with. So when we spring off of it, then everything that we've done up here becomes resistance. So we've got resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. So at 32 looks like about the top of the line at the most that we're going to get a nice little run up to. But it looks like a spot where we could also start to kind of consolidate, because again, you can see right here that we've used it as resistance a number of times, touched it as support a couple of times. So, we could leg up to this level up here. And I know that listen, it's going to make the Moon Boys feel a little bit better because they see that their bag, bro, my bag just went up. You know what I'm saying? Like, right on, bro. I mean, it's like 20% increase, but like I called it, you know what I mean? Like I totally called it. Like I knew it was going to do, you know what I mean? Like, meanwhile, you're looking at their Twitter and they're screaming at everybody. And we're going to talk about that in a few minutes, by the way. So keep your ears pinned because I got some serious opinions about Terra Rebels and what is going on with the community right now. And it's really kind of annoying. And I have the platform where I can say when things are annoying. So I'm going to let you know what I think is annoying about what is going on with the Terra Rebels. And it's not the Terra Rebels, by the way. I think they are doing the job that they're trying to do. So, but let's actually break it down. Guys, look, the Terra Rebels, Tobias, let's call it the core, okay? Ed, Alex, and Tobias are basically the core of the system. Now, Vegas is a member of Terra Rebels as well, but Vegas's role was 3568. He created 3568. He's an insider. He's still been on the inside, but I mean, in fact, some of us have some of us have access. Like I have access, and I can see stuff that's going on inside private chats and stuff like that. I don't use it, but until somebody says something publicly, I don't tip my hat to anything that might be going on. Right. But in the last 48 to 72 hours, I've been told no less than twice that Ed Kim just quit. I've been told that Tobias is quitting. I've been told that Alex is quitting. I've been told that none of them know what they're doing. I've been told that they're geniuses. I've been told that none of their propositions are going to work. I've been told that their propositions are going to work. I've been told, look, we've got a large community that's doing a lot of infighting and arguing, and it's not the people that matter that are doing the infighting and the arguing. So it turns out that Zeradar, Ed, and Alex are able to effectively communicate with one another and figure out the path forward, right? They're able to do that without crying, moaning, bitching, complaining, going public with it. Will there be a time when they feel the need to do that? Probably, maybe, possibly, who knows? But right now it's kind of behind closed doors and there's not like this big to do, right? And all of a sudden, everybody is putting themselves in attack mode because they like or they don't like one of the proposals, or they think that something is stupid and they just can't help themselves. They can't help themselves. They look for like the first opportunity to try to shit on these guys, and they argue and fight because they don't want them to get paid. Like, listen, that is the biggest load of horse shit and nonsense that I've ever seen. Like, so you don't want your developer. Look, I get being a moon boy. I get thinking that you can just like do whatever and the project will just moon itself. And that everybody on the planet works for free except you. I get it, but it's not true. It's not reality. And reality has to set in for some of these people some of the time because it's not healthy. Alex, Edward, and Tobias, and anybody else who's part of that ecosystem, they need to be paid and they need to be compensated for their time and for their work and for their effort. Now, if you want them to be compensated with Luna Classic, then that's something that could be voted on. But they're going to sell because their job here is to make money and support and pay for their families and stuff like that, right? They're here for money. We're investing for money. We're hoping that the opportunities that present themselves on the blockchain are enough that it creates income sufficient to pay everybody who needs to be paid in order to continue to work on the ecosystem and continue to improve the ecosystem. And virtual girls, there we go. Then we have this new company that comes out, Neblio. Now, first of all, I did not like what I saw from Neblio to begin with. I started looking at it and I couldn't find any good information about it. And my first instinct, when I can't find good information, my first instinct is like, yeah, there's going to be a problem, because I don't know what it is and what's going on. So I have no idea, no context, no frame of reference for any of it. And then as we're, kind of breaking it down, we find Eddie Smith is the owner. And if you go here and you look at Eddie Smith, which we will do, and I mean, you guys can see it for yourself. Eddie Smith, Neblio. Here we go. Eddie Smith is the co-founder and lead developer. He has a BS in computer science, over 7 years of experience. This is Crunchbase, by the way. So you can kind of get an idea of what he's done, where he's worked. Same thing over here. Project manager, creator spotlight, Neblio. And look, this goes back to June of 2018. This guy is not in the limelight at all. All right. So then there's this, little conversation that you can have about him. Digest. Then there's Top Ion Networks or Topio Networks. That's stupid, right? Like who does, like, Jesus Christ, somebody just, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? All right. So anyway, and you're seeing like a little bit of the same thing over and over again. Then you're seeing here May of 2018. Then you see again, it always seems to be 2018, early 2019, but that's it. Like, you don't see anything from 2021, 22. And then you see here, what is Neblio on capital.com that pops up out of nowhere September 28th. Why? Because suddenly we're talking about Neblio from out of nowhere, right? Buy Neblio in India. Eddie Smith and Ann Jackson are the co-founders of this cryptocurrency with a team of 3 people. So there's information out there, not a lot of information. Then all of a sudden, they agree to a partnership with Terra Rebels. Now we have people who are crying, wait a minute, if they're making a deal with Lunk and then other me because we're in charge of everything and we're and all that bullshit that they've been doing, right? But they didn't make a partnership with Lunk. They made a partnership with the Terra Rebels, and you don't own the Terra Rebels. So why don't you shut the fuck up? You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have anything to do with it. Now, the Terra Rebels and Neblio issued separate statements, both of which confirming that nothing that was going on with Terra Rebels had anything to do with promoting or endorsing Neblio, and that Neblio is simply providing assistance, and that assistance was in order to sustain the Luna Classic blockchain. And look, they're just trying to they're taking advantage of an opportunity in which we need somebody who can come in here and just in case we need it, they can do something that's important that might need to be done on the blockchain here so that we can have a good time. And like we could be like Lionel Richie and we could dance on the ceiling all night long. You know what I mean? Like that's what we're looking for. That's what they're saying. Well, you know, I mean, that's kind of what we can do. That's how we can kind of help you. And that's what they're doing, allegedly, right? But, and that's a mighty big butt, lady. I mean, that's a mighty big butt. That's a big butt, right? Yeah, big. I like big butts and I can't lie. Okay, so listen, Linda. These people could be already, they could have already been vetted by people and we just don't know it, right? So then it leaks out that they were referred from Binance. Then there became a conspiracy. Look, there became a conspiracy for a little while that this was actually Binance that was doing it. And I don't know if it is or isn't Binance that referred them over, but it seems like in a couple of different instances, Vegas was all but confirming that it was Binance who had referred them over to Neblio, who is maybe a partner with Binance in some way on the back end or a recent acquisition, something like that. So it seems like that Binance is trying to help even more. But even that turned into a conspiracy. And people just kept going on and kept going on and kept going on ad infinitum. And listen, there were so many different spaces that were happening yesterday and so many different angry people for no reason. Hold on one second. All right, sorry about that. So anyway, yeah, so people are just bitching to bitch, right? And there's plenty of different levels of investors. There's There's the investor who's a moon boy who just wants it to go up, 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 up. And then there's the people who understand that this is a long-term project and they have a little more tolerance. There's people that listen to me and say, oh yeah, he keeps saying that it needs to go down a little bit so that we can burn more. Like the reason that we didn't burn more, just imagine for a second that it's Monday again, Monday morning, and you're right here. And this is where Binance is doing the burn and we're at 26. Well, if we had gone down to 800 right here, we would have burned like 3.5 billion instead of 2.5 billion. Just one little move like that in short term or in short order, and we would have burned a ridiculous amount of these tokens, more than we had burned before. Now, that's with the understanding that the burns are very minimal and that the burns are not doing too much because we're not getting the level of burn. And then we got a bunch of babies out here who acquiesced and said, well, we want to change it to 0.2 instead of 1.2 because nobody's doing 1.2. And it's been it's been forever. It's been like 21 days. Like, are you shitting me? Like, what is wrong with some of you people? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, well, the 0.2 is going to be awesome. Nobody's doing 1.2. What made you think they were just going to do 0.2 to begin? Like, it's just crazy, right? We got to do something. No, you don't. You just have to let the process play out. So all of these things create unnecessary and needless distraction because moon boys have a voice too. Now they shouldn't. They should have their own socks like stuffed in their mouths, and they should be like, it's gross. Yeah, it's gross because you're gross. You know what I mean? Like they shouldn't be allowed to speak. That's all I'm saying. They should never be allowed to talk again. But anyway, so I mean, you guys get my point, right? Like, moon boys, just shut up. They should stop. So that's where it is, and we'll know some more over the next day or 2 or 3 how this thing plays out, right? I think we'll have some upside probably near the 32. I do think that the markets are about to soar. ETH is starting to get on a little bit. Now, ETH has had a little bit of a pump a couple of different times already, and it just keeps getting rejected and coming back down. You can see over here, like it's been up to 1342, 1330. Like there's a real amount of, see all this right here, all this chop and all this action here and all this right here. And there's a lot of effort that was put into keeping this thing right near 1300. And the bad part about that is that makes it hard to break out of 1300. So, that's where we are. Hopefully we'll have a nice little run today that will sort of extinguish some of the fight right here, get us up to 13, 14. You know what I mean? Like we really need to have a nice little pump to give people a little feeling of relief and then let that extend a few more days. Same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is breaking out right now, and you can see Bitcoin still continuing its breakout, but Ethereum is still dragging it back down. You can see over here, like Bitcoin's just pushing up just a little bit more right now, and Ethereum is not nearly. And by the way, that is because billions of Ethereum were sold just recently. Remember, we were talking about how Ethereum was not working with the market. Like the Ethereum was dragging everybody along with it during this nice little pump here. Well, all of that money has been liquidated. Like that's what all of these big red things are. These are the opportunities that these people have had to kind of liquidate their positions and get back out because they made a good amount of money on that pump. So, that's kind of where we are. That's kind of what was happening. So, we need to see something happen here. Dow Jones is about to wake up. It should go live in just a minute, and we'll see what happens. Like I think that we're gonna, according to that, we're gonna lead off at about 630, which, with the reports coming out today, is a pretty good and a pretty fair number because you gotta like what it is that you're seeing. Like there's reason to believe that we will not enter a recession, no matter how much you like one president over the other. We may not enter a recession. I mean, let me rephrase that. We are in a recession, but we might not enter the tightening area of real pain that we kind of expect to come along with it. We might not enter that area because the job market and the labor market has continued to maintain itself very strong. And at some point, oil and gas prices will continue to come down. You can see the U.S. oil prices down to 84 right now. We haven't seen it at the gas pump yet. So when we start to see it at the gas pump, they can't make excuses for much longer, right? They can't be like, well, we set this thing is actually, we set this on fire. I mean, something got set this on fire, we burned up all the gasoline. So $5, like that's going to end pretty soon. Like they're out of excuses. And now you've got states looking into it suddenly. And when you get that happening, that's when you start to see a tightening of the control there. And then suddenly you start to see the gas prices start to come down. When the gas prices come down, then all of a sudden you start feeling a little bit less of a burden at the pump, right? So prices come down, and it doesn't matter who you want to be elected. The facts are still the facts, right? This economy has been super strong. It's continued to add jobs. It's continued to do stuff, but all the while it's had inflation. And listen, if the previous administration had done a better job of managing COVID from the outset, then maybe we wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? Like there's plenty of finger pointing that we can do that goes around, because 2 weeks to stop the spread ends up to be a year to stop the spread, and the people in charge are just like, well, I don't believe that anybody would have done that. Well, you were in charge, dickheads. Like, get your shit together. You know what I mean? You're the problem. You're the people who are supposed to make that decision and say, no, we're not going to do that. So, that's the thing that's going around. We could have done better from everybody everywhere to make a better situation. And $84 of oil at the pump, no matter who you like for president, is not going to end up at $5 gasoline, because that's not the way that it works. It will continue to come down, and then that will mean that the cost of everything else will start to come down, because delivery costs will start to recede as well, because these prices are not going to be sustainable. And guess what? The demand goes down in the wintertime for like your traveling gas. And, you might see a tick up in like energy bills and stuff like that. But listen, it's already it's already been kind of priced in. Here we are. This is what it's going to be for the next little while. And this right here is under $3 a gallon. $84, $90 a barrel. That's under $3 a gallon. So we're going to see that start to come down. And then we're going to start to see the prices of goods and services again continue to come down, especially those that rely on transportation, because that's just kind of the way it works. And it's happening. Hopefully it gets delayed for a little bit longer, because again, the best thing that we could have in America would be some problems with the elections where Republicans win at least one. Like somebody's got to respect Republicans, right? I mean, they make funny memes, good joke. They don't win elections, but I mean, they make funny memes, right? And that's got to count for something. So we need a Republican, either Congress or Senate for the next year or so that we can get some, good old fashioned stalling, because Joe Biden keeps passing these partisan bills, and that's just pissing people off. Like nobody wants to see progress. This is America. We don't do progress. Are you kidding me? Get the fuck out of here. What we do, however, is hate each other. So that's what we got to keep doing, right? That's the focus. We got to let's go Brandon our way to the Philadelphia Eagles or something like that. I don't know. I heard something about that the other day. That the Philadelphia Eagles hate freedom and democracy or something. It's weird, right? But those kind of things. We need that sort of gridlock. We need gridlock in order to allow this market to start soaring. No, he's not serious. Nobody does good work. I mean, unless you have $10 million in the bank, then they do great work. because they keep the rich richer. You know, so, but nonetheless, what we need is, here we go. We've got a good day started off on the Dow. Now, the question is, can we maintain this type of day? Now, if we can maintain this type of day, and if we can mint maybe a 400, then that will start to translate over here, and then we'll start to see a pump out of Ethereum. We'll start to see a pump out of Bitcoin. We'll start to see a pump in Luna Classic. And now, remember, by the way, that the reason that we're seeing that it move, you see Ethereum moving down right now. You're seeing Ethereum moving down because the Dow Jones is pumping, and it's having a monster pump to start off the day. So what are people doing? Well, they're taking their money out of the riskiest assets and they're putting it into the less risky assets in the market, because guess what? This thing is, you can make your money in the Dow right now with the Dow being down. And thank you very much for the $50 bomb, Big Fiji. Swing Dow looks incredibly bullish, super confident where they're going. And as a matter of fact, if you guys have not seen yet, and I hope that you got your bag packed, because Jesus Christ, you would have messed up if you didn't. But Swing Dow is up 352 points, 352% on the day. And that's after this retracement down here. Like, it almost hit 3,000 just last night. And by the way, it's still brand new. So I'm on 3-minute candles. Like, you can still use 3-minute candles right now. But if you see here, like, it did this and it had this move, then it kind of consolidated, had a dip, then it started to move, then it had another pump again, right? So we're probably going to hit another pump again to get it up over 3,000 sometime today. There's 3 different exchanges that are about to be announced, and hopefully, listen, you can never predict these things absolutely perfectly, right? But anything that you give a length of time tends to come back down. So the natural move on this is going to be down here to around 2,000, in a worst case scenario to about 16 if it's just going to do like a bounce, right? So if that's where this bounce is headed, we're already at the 23, so it could very well just turn on a dime and start making a move again. But generally, I would expect that we go to 1975, somewhere around here, and then we have a bounce, hopefully, to push it to that upside. But what we need is we need that announcement to be at the exact right time. Like, we need that announcement to be in the next couple of hours. Like, let's get a pump here going and let's get it to around 3,000. And while we're at 3,000, that's when you announce the first exchange. Like, if we can get that organized, that's optimal. And then that creates a little bit more FOMO and a little bit more pump and a little bit more hype based on what's happening. And then you continue to move up and you continue to moon it, right? Then if you continue to do that, you announce, oh yeah, by the way, 2 days later or so, another one is listing, and then you do it a couple more days, and then boom, another one's listing, and then you just keep it pushing, and then before you know it, you're at a penny. So, and it would be just that easy. I'm just kidding. Nothing about that's easy, but it could be. It's something that could be done. It'd be interesting. It would be interesting if nothing else. It would be interesting to see everything just get timed perfectly, because these guys work super hard. They spend a lot of their personal money to make this thing go. So yeah, I would absolutely expect nothing more than just another big run up. Now remember, we're at a 3.5 million market cap. It would be nothing at this point to get to 12 million market cap or 20 million market cap. I mean, just imagine your bag going 6x from where it is right now. I don't know where your bag is, but just imagine it going 6x from where it is right now, at a 20 million market cap on a great project that, by the way, you can currently stake your NFTs. There's 2 different ways to stake, by the way. You have to come to the jungle over here on Banana Task Force 8, connect your wallet, and then after you connect your wallet, then you can stake by token or you can stake by lottery. I staked 2 for tokens to get more tokens, and then 1 for the lottery. And then I guess you earn like a ticket every day. And then you got 2 days, 18 hours, 19 minutes, and 57 seconds until the next drawing, which is going to be for $1,000 USDC, automatically paid. So that's as a matter of fact, I had somebody tell me the other day, they were like, you know what, you should probably just do lottery on each one of them, because the amount of rewards that you get from staking for tokens is not as high as what you could potentially get over here for this. But you know what? I'm here for the long haul. So, we'll see. All right. Now, thank you for the $2 bomb. Check FIFA Inu on BSC up 13x and PooCoin chart. All right. So we'll go to, let's do FIFA. Damn. That's how you do it, son. This is out of control. Okay, so this thing started at 4 zeros, guys. This started at 4 zeros and is now at a penny, at over a penny. So that is a lift of 30,000. So if for any reason you happen to be in this one in that beginning, then you are absolutely ripping it. If you got in on this pump from here, then you're up 100%. So this is a big move. That's a really big move. Let's FIFA Inu is the next newest dog of the Binance Smart Chain, ready to kick things off to the next level with World Cup being soon. All right, so we're basically a meme token. It's an Inu stealth launch. Okay. Okay. Okay, it's basically your standard. Like, this is exactly what you would expect. You're getting exactly what you would expect from an Inu. All right, smell test gives it a 27 out of 100. That's because it got a 9% tax in and out, which means you're paying 18% tax on everything. Of course, it contains a flea modifier. It's not renounced. 86% of the liquidity is locked until November 30. So make sure that so there's two things that you should be aware of. Number one, 85% of the liquidity is locked with Pink Lock until November 30. So you have 43 days to find out whether or not you're going to get wrecked. And the owner has over 14% of the tokens. So I would be concerned in two levels for that one. And they're also controlling, this is not renounced. So you should be a little bit nervous. You should be a little bit nervous on this until some changes are made. If the dev is lowering the taxes to 5, is lowering the tax at 5 million market cap, that's fine. But I mean, again, you still have liquidity is almost unlocked at this point, and the dev has a gigantic amount of supply. 13.85% of the supply is, I mean, you can really do the math on this. Look at the contract. There's 100 million tokens. So the dev has 13 million tokens, right? So if you sold 13 million tokens right now, you could take the entire amount of liquidity. So it's very nervous here. The dev controls the ability to absolutely rug this right now. So be very careful if you decide to make a play on it, because those are factual accountings of where this token is. That doesn't mean that it is a rug pull. It doesn't mean that there's anything bad going on. Doesn't mean that the developer is not trustworthy. It means that it's an Inu token that has a developer with 14% of the supply. 14% of the supply at 13 million right now means that he holds $130,000 worth of tokens, which means that that is almost the entire liquidity pool in one wallet. So if he decided, you know what, I'm done, and sold right now, that would take most of the liquidity with it because of that amount. So be very careful and good luck. But anyway, so now here we go. Now you're starting to see some red in the market as all of these are starting to retrace a little bit. Let's do 5-minute candles, and you can see here, like there's big downside moves coming here. And it could just be, by the way, not a huge problem. It could just be that, you know, we got this run right here on the Dow Jones. So it's probably a whole lot of, it's probably just a whole lot of people moving from crypto back into the Dow for their investment, because especially if it's running like the way it's running right now. So yeah, so we're seeing now all of a sudden we're seeing just a whole bunch of red in the market. And it's not because people are not into crypto, by the way. This is just they're moving their stuff out of crypto right now, trying to take advantage of this pump over here. And you'll see it re-enter the crypto market like very, very rapidly. So all right, so that's my time, guys. I got a few more minutes. I got somebody new starting again. A lot of new people starting. So this is not financial advice. My name's Bleaves. I'm always right. Make sure Swing Dow going to have another run. Volt has been having a nice little run. Decanect is still sitting with a zero dropped. By the way, in case you hadn't seen that before, Decanect dropped a zero and is still sitting at 11 cents. 11.6 cents per token, and only going up from there. And yeah, there we are. So you guys have a good day, and we will talk to you again for bedtime tonight. Have a good night, and be careful.